So with summer just around the corner, it's about time we need to think of saving money for our holiday. But saving money isn't exactly the easiest thing to do. And when we do save money, we're not really rewarded until we actually spend that saved money. So in this episode, we're going to build the coin incentivizer. An intelligent piggy bank that's going to insult us when we don't save enough money. Hello, you. We've got a little Ollie. Oh. And this little one here can help us. Oh, hello, little. Mwah. The United States and the United Kingdom have probably one of the most deepest bonds any two countries could have. Despite the Declaration of Independence, which we can all just agree was a big mistake on America's part because it missed out on all of this, it's amazing how we have kept this bond all these years. And what better way to celebrate this bond and to make this bond deeper than with a royal wedding between a United States citizen and a member of the royal family. So in this episode, we're going to build the Savings Incentivizer, which can help you save a few coins coming up to this big event during the summer. So for this project, you will need a Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, 8 10 kilo ohm linear potentiometers, 8 LM358 ICs, 8 dip sockets for the LM358 ICs, 8 IR photodiodes and 8 IR LEDs, 8 100 ohm resistors and 8 10 kilo ohm resistors, 8 100 nanofarad capacitors, some circuit construction material such as strip board or custom PCBs, a whole bunch of wires for connecting all the electrical parts together, a USB-B micro cable for powering the Raspberry Pi, and a speaker with a 3.5mm audio jack for connecting the speaker to the Raspberry Pi. Oh, and you also may find some coins will be quite helpful. All the parts in this project can be found from DigiKey, link in the description below. Here is the schematic for the Savings Incentivizer. We have the Raspberry Pi connected to our speaker, we have a wall adapter or a USB port on a computer to power it up. We have our individual coin detector circuits, and we have here the schematic for the individual detectors. As you can see, each individual coin has its own detector circuit, and each individual detector circuit connects to a unique point on the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi. The coin detector circuits use a single op-amp, an LM358, a potentiometer to configure the sensitivity, an IR detector diode, D1, which is used to detect coins, and an IR emitter, L1, which is used to create an IR beam that hits D1, and when the coin crosses the beam will produce a small little pulse of voltage which the comparator compares against our sensitivity setting and will then output a signal when coins are detected. So here's the Python code for the Savings Incentivizer. We use the GPIO library for the Raspberry Pi, we also use the time library, and we use the call library. When the code starts up, we set all the GPIO and then configure all our variables. When the main program runs, all we do is go through each GPIO input to check if a coin has been detected. To make the project speak out how much we've actually saved and what we've currently put in, we take advantage of eSpeak, which is the Linux equivalent of Microsoft SAM. And depending on how much we've put in and the overall amount saved, to speak different responses depending on the situation. So now that we've looked at the electronic side of this project, let's look at the mechanical side of this project. Now this project, the savings box, is simply a box with slots cut in. And when the coins drop into those slots, we have some circuitry to actually count those coins. Now each slot has its own individual little box, which on the sides of the box are an IR LED and an IR photodiode. Now the IR LED emits some IR radiation, and that is picked up by the IR photodiode. Now when the coin is inserted into the slot, it falls down and cuts this beam, and that is what we use to count the coin. Now the material that I've decided to use for this box is wood, primarily because I miss using my tools. I've got plenty of spare wood lying around, and it makes a much more rigid, permanent project, unlike things like cardboard. But of course you could use cardboard if you wanted to. So without further ado, let's build it. So here is the saving system complete, and what we find if we turn this around is we have each one of our individual coin detection circuits along with the Raspberry Pi. Now you may notice that it looks like that I've soldered the wires directly to the Raspberry Pi, but in actual fact I've used a connector which I've then plugged into the GPIO headers. So the way we configure these individual circuits is by putting a coin through the slot and then configuring the potentiometer so the output of that circuit is low when a coin goes past, and then the output goes high when there's no coin at all. Now you could do that by measuring the output voltage of these circuits, or you could actually run a Python program to scan the GPIO and then make adjustments until the program detects and doesn't detect the actual change. Now this is the bottom of the savings box, and you can see two distinctive rows where the coins come through. And then inside those individual slots is an IR detector and an IR emitter. And then all these wires are gathered together and they come through a small hole in the back of the box, which then go into the individual circuits. With the box built and all the different coin slots labelled, it's time to test the unit out. So let's see what responses we get by putting coins in.
You deposited 1.0 pennies. You have saved 1.0 pennies. Congratulations, if you continue like this you will have enough by the end of summer for a small tin of beans from Poundland. Oh, and by the way, you still cannot afford anything from Poundland, and that is saying a lot. You deposited 24.0 pennies. You have saved 73.0 pennies. Picture your summer holiday. Now picture it in your back garden. Now picture yourself broke. That will be your holiday at this rate. Oh, and by the way, you still cannot afford anything from Poundland, and that is saying a lot. You deposited 320.0 pennies. You have saved 393.0 pennies. What does this savings bank and an onion both have in common? When opened, they both make you cry. One other thing, I just checked your total savings. It is not good.
Well, that's the Savings Incentivizer built. Hopefully you can save a bit of money for the summer holiday. Remember to catch out that royal wedding and see you next time. This is the Gentleman Maker.